This video walkthrough is designed to be a step-by-step tutorial on how to assemble a drill rifle into a New Guard America high-impact synthetic stock. Today, we'll be assisted by Cadet Cameron Camacho, a Marine Corps JROTC cadet at New Braunfels High School. Traditionally, these stocks were designed for real, demilitarized M1903 rifles, but drillers have found that placing their existing hardware into these high-impact stocks assists in both durability and aesthetics. Luckily, Glendale Parade Store has re-engineered precision parts designed to fit directly into these NGA stocks. We'll first demonstrate the steps using a Glendale Parade Store large NGA kit, a series of parts containing everything one needs to build a rifle, minus the stock itself. Then, we'll demonstrate the modifications necessary to fit other styles of drill rifles. Please note that with other brands of replica rifles, you will need the assistance of a Dremel tool or similar to shear away parts of the synthetic stock in order to enable each part to seat and align correctly. For this reason, Drill Team Dynamics exclusively recommends and endorses the use of Glendale parts milled specifically for use on high-impact NGA stocks. As you can see, we've laid out all the necessary parts in their approximate location on the table. The table has been covered with a towel to ensure that no parts are lost and that the surface is protected. We will begin by putting together the receiver and barrel assembly. Simply insert the barrel into the receiver and secure using the provided connector pin. You'll note that the pin is tapered on one end, and this is the side that should be inserted into the receiver. Next, you'll want to insert the bolt spring into the receiver housing. This keeps tension on the bolt, thus keeping it closed. Insert the bolt handle into the receiver and secure using the small screw provided. Lastly, slip the receiver ring down over the now assembled barrel with the lip facing down the barrel. You'll notice that your receiver has a small hole near the front designed for a small pin to be inserted. You will not want to install this pin, and it is not included in the Glendale kits. This pin serves to hold in place the handguard of a replica rifle, but will cause damage to the underside of a New Guard handguard. Next, we'll align the trigger plate to the stock. Notice that the Glendale trigger plate fits perfectly into the NGA stock. Note, if you are adding an NGA cloth weight set, you'll want to roll the cloth weights and place them inside the opening of the stock just below the receiver at this time. The weights will be secured between the trigger plate and the receiver. Simply fold, insert, and continue installation. To secure, we'll insert the assembled receiver and begin by tightening the forward screw, which is the shorter of the two provided. By starting with this front screw, we ensure proper alignment of the rifle inside the stock. Next, we'll use the longer of the two receiver screws to secure the rear of the trigger plate. Now, the bulk of the construction is complete. We'll now install the handguard by slipping it under the receiver ring's lip. You want the edge of the handguard to meet the edge of the stock. If it doesn't, you may have to shift the ring or slightly tighten the front screw. Once the handguard is slipped under the ring, it should lay flat against the stock. Now, we'll place the upper sling swivel, stacking swivel, and upper band components onto the stock. The longer screws provided in the Glendale kit assist in ensuring proper fit of the bands to the slightly wider body of the stock. Slip the band itself down the stock. Next, install the stacking swivel band in the same fashion. There is no swivel piece that needs to be added here. Thread the screw through both the swivel and the band and secure using a Phillips head screwdriver. Lastly, Slip the upper band over the stock, ensuring that the hole in the lug aligns to the hole in the stock. Use the connector pin provided to secure the upper band to the top of the stock. We'll now turn our attention to the lower swivel. The swivel is comprised of a spacer, a plate, a swivel, and 2 screws. Start by inserting the spacer plate into the opening of the stock. Next, insert the swivel ring under the plate. Secure it to the stock using the 2 small Phillips head screws. Lastly, we'll install the butt plate onto the rifle stock. On some stocks, the larger of the 2 screws is just slightly too small due to natural differences in the pouring of each stock. To compensate, we'll use a simple trick to help keep the screw fully secured. Take a wooden pencil and, using a rubber mallet, pound it as far into the stock as you are able. Then, break off the pencil so that it is flush to the stock. Now the screw will seat properly. Line up the butt plate and use the large and small screw provided to secure it to the stock. You might have noticed that the rear swivel is thicker than most other drill rifle parts. This is to increase durability during exhibition drill. Attaching a sling to this piece can be a little bit tricky, so simply use the flat edge of a screwdriver to pry open the J-bar of the sling, install the sling onto the swivel, and carefully but firmly pull the J-bar tight until it pops onto the swivel. The steps to assemble other brands of drill rifles are very similar. However, you will need to use a Dremel tool to widen the rear opening of the trigger plate. Be very careful shearing away only as much plastic as required to allow the rear receiver screw to align properly to the receiver. The next major modification you will need to make is to remove the handguard pin at the front of the receiver. While you may be able to use pliers, you may also need a Dremel tool or a file to file this pin away. Be very careful in doing so. You will also need to re-drill a hole for the butt plate to fit correctly. Carefully align the area for the new hole and, using a drill, bore a second opening in the stock. Lastly, it may be very difficult to assemble the bands to the stock due to the shorter length of screws. This may take some trial and error. Again, this is why we recommend the Glendale Parade Store NGA kits, which contain slightly longer screws, as well as parts that fit properly to the stocks without destructive modifications. We hope this video has been helpful. Please visit paradestore.com to get your NGA kit today. The colored stocks that we have demonstrated with come from newguardusa.com.